We go. Yo, this is Kieran for Getting Our Shit Together, Ghost. And I'm delighted to be joined by DePriest, who's got a viral, very successful Facebook group called Make Dating Fun Again. And so welcome, Race.
Thank you very much.
No worries. And is that, I guess, before we go into it, is that a pseudonym or is that your birth certificate name? Or?
Birth certificate is Ryan, which a lot of people think is funny, but in college, I started having the nickname Race, and there's like the only people that still call me by my birth name are my family. Everyone else around the world knows me as Race. That's what I answer to the most.
Yeah, because I know in our industry in dating, you are well known, and people, if I say your name, people have often heard of you. So yeah, so no, it's a delight to speak to you. And
well, I also want to bring up, because you did ask about is that my actual name. A lot of people in this industry come up with fake names to kind of hide. They have a little bit of shame behind the dating industry.
Yeah,
there was literally when I started, that was my nickname that everyone knew me by. And so I stood behind it because, like, well, if I'm going to put things out there that I believe are true and helpful, I want people to know that that's me. There's no nom de plume. There's no pseudonym. That's how everyone calls me and texts me, talks to me.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And it's like, yeah, we shouldn't be backwards when we're coming forward with this stuff. I mean, we're talking about dating. That's completely legitimate. Let's go for it. So we were talking about your group, Make Dating Fun Again, which I think really encapsulates it, because it's obviously kind of a fun title. You're taking the Trumpism there, but from your group, what I see it is just, I think some guys in this industry can be very serious, very matter of fact, and I think it'd be nice today to talk about fun, because that's what I see in your group. You seem, and it sounds so strange, right? We're talking about fun, like the lightness of fun, and it's like, but that can be a weapon in your arsenal to picking up chicks. But it can be.
I honestly, if you're gonna pick an arsenal, then pick not taking things too seriously and having fun. And then once you start doing that, you'll realize it's not even a weapon in your arsenal, because it bleeds into your life where, holy crap, I had a really good time on that date. And by my having fun, I allowed the person that I was dating with, who, it's a stressful situation. It can be, at least for a lot of people who are starting out not knowing what to do. Like, it's like, do they like me? Am I saying the right things? Like, that starts to evaporate the more fun you have. Yeah. Instead, you end up being like, you want to know why I want to go on a date again? Because that was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I want to do that again. So I want to hang out with this person again. And that's kind of, I don't want to say the entire point, but I mean, life, I see it as a giant game. Like, you can either stress out, you can go with the drama aspect, you can go with the power aspect, but I think fun always leaves you the next morning going, I had fun.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. And
there's a beauty to it that it builds, it allows that you're never disappointed.
Yes, yeah. And like you said, I mean, obviously, I'm sure you are very serious about other aspects of your life and getting your shit together and keeping it together and all of that. But yeah, no, it is. I mean, fun should be a part of our lives. And like you say, it is when you're especially meeting new people, if those new people are women, it's a great thing to be doing. So I mean, and just in looking at you and like interacting with you, it's very clear that this is not a persona. This is like you're deep down to the core. Like you seem like, from when we were messaging back and forth before, you're a very chilled out guy. And then speaking with you in person, well, not in person, sorry, face to face. It's the same vibe. So it's like, how have you developed this personality? Was it always that way? What's the story?
Dude, it wasn't easy, and it was really. I started off I took everything so personal.
Yeah.
And then I went to college, and then I tried to like study. Like, I was very religious upbringing. Then studying philosophy, delving into Kant and all, like, deep dive into what is the nature of reality, and then finding out, maybe just have more fun.
yeah.
Like the end game's the same either way.
Right.
And I realized that, like, when do I enjoy my life a lot more? And what's the point? And I figured fun consistently came up as a pretty good point.
Yeah.
Like you could be like, I had fun or I was right. Which one was better that night?
Right.
People pissed off the next day, like, because I could be right. Like I could I could philosophize the crap out of a conversation. I can prove that, like, because I know a ton of facts, because I'm well read.
Yeah.
And being right, like I've been on many dates where I argued just to get, because I knew I was right. Look it up, Google it, whatever. And I mean, what does that do for me? Absolutely nothing. But when instead I let people be how they want to be and enhance their fun and acceptance of who they are, no matter who the fuck cares which fact's right or not, it's become a much more enjoyment of my time in this world.
So I appreciate that. So just like jumping, what immediately occurs to me there is, how do you deal with someone in your life then if you need to have a serious conversation with them? Because you're saying you take people as they are with their faults and all. So say if someone in the close family or someone you were living with or something was just behaving in a way, maybe not like in a life-threatening way, but just how do you approach something like that? Do you sort of put your serious hat on and?
Well, that's a very interesting question. One, because I think what is right. So it's like, I'm not here to meddle with what's going on. So more than anything, and this is coming from growing up with, one of my parents with a severe mental illness, like learning to accept and be like, I have no idea what the heck they're going through. I'm not here to necessarily give advice, but if they do ask me, I'll point them in directions of people who are way better than I am.
Right.
At giving advice, like, all right, you wanted to learn how to form better habits. I'm not the expert. I have read enough books. I can point you to what I think is probably the best way to do that.
Sure.
You want to get in shape, I can point you to, having been a personal trainer, read, 20, 30 books on it, what I have seen works the best. But those are only if you really want to know. But most of the time, people want to talk because they're not heard or they're rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can be someone that accepts and listens and only offers advice when they really, truly are saying, what do I do next? Then your life's going to be a lot easier, for one.
Yeah, you know what? That's speaking to me so specifically because I'm so quick to be like, you know what you should be doing there, and it's like, just chill a little and let them come to you.
It's hard not to when you spend your life so curious.
Yeah.
Me, a very curious person, went off, studied all this stuff, like traveled the world, wanted to know everything. You're kind of excited about, oh, that's easy. You just got to do this. And you want to give that right away. But I've found from many, many failed conversations of how that is unhelpful to the person who just wants to be accepted and heard. And then when they reach out, gently offer some advice or more importantly, point them in a direction. But overall, just being there and accepting, giving a kind word, saying like, wow, that's really cool. I'm so glad you're doing that or whatever, like giving some encouragement is 9 out of 10, you're going to win with that strategy.
Yeah. And this is
I don't mean like it's a competition. I really mean that your life will be generally better.
Yeah. And this isn't a dating thing. This is just a how to interact with your loved ones, with people around you.
Definitely a life thing, but I can tell you it 100% applies to dating because it's just another human being trying to be accepted.
Yeah. Sorry. No, that makes a lot of sense. And just gently offering advice. All right, what about the extreme scenario? Say, I'm not sure if you have any kids, but if you had you don't, sorry.
I do not.
You do not, yeah. All right, well, let's say a loved one, a brother or sister, or if you were to have kids, they get into like hard drugs, say. What would you do at that point? Would it eventually, would you have to like, all right, okay, the boot comes down. How would you approach something as difficult as that?
Okay, yeah, if we want to go to extreme situations, I mean, there would be a talk through of, is this helping your life? Why do you continue to do it? Because I think most, and I honestly could be wrong, I'm not a doctor or anything, but the reason to continue a destructive behavior usually has, people don't do things for no reason. And I know addiction is a little stronger on a side note of that, because there's some things that you have no control over when biology and things like are happening that draws your body to it now because you now have an addiction. But I do think there's a reason why people do things. And so you got to figure out, and a lot of times it's not very clear, why do you do this? Like, for example, even in just simple forms of dating, like playing games or like destructive behaviors where you push people away when they start getting too close, like, so then you consistently have fights in your relationship. These are all things you got to dig down past and go, why am I doing this? How is this serving me? And then accepting it. And that's the only way you can let it go. Because I think behaviors are based on beliefs. So maybe it's a belief pattern, but also it does something for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's not helpful, it's serving you somehow. And you got to realize that and dig down to that root so that you can figure out how to change that pattern or belief and let go.
It's so interesting. And like I've been saying with speaking to coaches recently that these conversations generally, they start off talking about dating and then it comes down to like therapy and deep dives, but it's true, isn't it? Because that's how you make that sort of, that long change. And it's so interesting what you were saying about the, say someone's problem like that, it might be filling a hole for them. I remember seeing a documentary once, and there was this young lad on there of about 25, maybe, and I remember him just saying, and God bless him because he must have had such a difficult life, because he was saying, he goes, yeah, well, look, obviously I want to come off heroin, but I remember times where no one else was there for me. The only thing that was there, he goes, the only one that was there for me was heroin. Like, he's personifying heroin as like this warm, loving embrace, which I hear is what it kind of feels like. But I just thought, fuck, like it is like you say, it's serving a need, isn't it? And it's like, so just merely sort of saying, well, you must stop that, isn't really going to be.
Oh no, that's not
the solution. Yeah.
I mean, same thing. Think about dates. Like, so many of the clients I work with are so afraid of being rejected or that they're not worthy. I mean, these are the conversations they're having in their head, and that totally filters their interactions. So how are you going to have a good interaction with, let's just say, a guy and a woman going out, meeting for the first time? How are you going to have a good interaction when all you're worried about is what they're thinking about you? Thinking you're not good enough. Why is she even talking to me? And then a lot of times it turns to anger, like, well, screw them, because that's your defense mechanism. All girls are just, horrible. And then you go into the other swing of it.
Yeah.
So you don't have a chance. You're not giving yourself a chance, and you're pushing the other person away and not allowing them to express who they are and see if you can connect. And that's your pattern. So you don't have a chance. You're shooting yourself in the foot before you start.
This is one of those things that is like almost like a universal pattern. And it's like every guy needs to find out the way. Like, every guy wants to get into this and get good at dating and find someone that they're really going to hit it off with. They need to find out a way of getting out of their own head. Now, they might be born that way, or they might have come up really easy, and that's not really a problem for them. But if it is a problem for them, maybe like a real deep dive into what their neuroses are or whatever. But it's like, somehow you've got to get out of your own head, and then good things are going to start to happen.
Let's another thing that I would really, really want to strongly get across in this conversation is starting from your own head is completely natural. You were
Yeah.
born there. You were born there. You had no idea about anything else. That's you. You're the center of your universe. That's totally fine. But you're going to have to learn skill sets and mindsets to get out of it in order to be better at connecting with other people who, consequently, funny enough, are in their own head just as much as you are. So once you free yourself out of that, then you're no longer that inward facing arrow. Like you need people to like you. It's not that you don't still want people to like you. That's fine. But you don't constantly need that validation. And then you realize everyone else is hoping for that. And then you can now be the source that provides it. You are now welcome in any group, anywhere, because you are someone who created, once again, what we're building up to, fun, because fun comes from a place of acceptance and enjoyment. And then you provide that thing that everyone's looking for. They're like, hey, call Race. Like he always makes the party fun.
Yeah.
Hey, he always makes me feel good. Hey, he always listens to me and we have great conversations. Like I always want that person around.
Yeah.
And it becomes now they want to introduce you to their friends. You get invited to a lot of parties. Like your social life explodes. Like all the things that you thought were very difficult of, I have to find one girl, go on one date, and I have to make a good impression, and I have to make her think that I'm valuable. That totally gets eliminated, and your whole lifestyle changes where it just free flows. Like people come in and out of your life who are awesome. Like you get better business opportunities. You get introduced. Like I have this girlfriend who I think would be perfect for you. So your effort of trying to find a girl reduces completely because everyone's looking out for you because you look out for them. They want to connect you, to hook you up. They would love you to be in their life. And that's a powerful thing. For a whole
Yes.
lifestyle, life change where the dating issue kind of evaporates because it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you're saying is almost like deeper than fun. It's like fun comes from this foundation of almost like limited neuroses or like, not like a limited amount of being in your own head, if you want to get sort of a bit technical about it.
Yeah.
I would say. And, but all right. So I completely agree. And it's like, you do see these opportunities start opening up for you. If you can be that person who's, because you can see it in someone. Race, you'll be able to immediately see someone who's stifled, they're in the head. Like it's the body language, it's everything. And it's beyond body language. It's like a vibe as well. And then you can see someone who's the opposite. And it's like polarities. It's like one attracts and one repels. So how do you, let's say, and obviously be as detailed or as non-detailed about your practices as you want to be, but how do you, if a guy who's very stifled comes through your door or into your inbox, how do you start working with that guy and loosening him up?
It almost immediately starts with asking questions because there's anyone who's, well, at least that I've worked with, including myself, who's really stifled, hasn't asked himself the questions to dig down deep enough to realize, because you got to have the realizations in order to change a belief system that's been in pattern for so long, because they're going to, be like, well, no, it's because of this. Well, you have to question that. Why are all girls bitches?
That's the belief that they have. Yeah, exactly.
It's not true. You obviously, lots of people know that's not true. Lots of people have wonderful relationships. And that belief was built off something until it's unquestioned beliefs that you have to get down into. And until you uproot those that are really, seriously weighing you down and filtering your view of reality. Like, for example, a car cuts you off. Most of us, hey, fuck you, buddy. But if you knew that it was cutting you off because his wife was in labor and they're rushing to the hospital, what would be your response?
Yeah, like go for it, man.
You'd
Yeah,
be like, go, dude.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm in your way. Right? Same situation. You don't know which one actually happened.
yes, yeah.
But based on your thought process creates emotions in your body.
Mm.
And now these are how you, and people don't realize it's not just the big ideas, the big beliefs. This is every day stubbing your toe. Do you get mad or you go, oh, I shouldn't have walked there?
Yeah, yeah.
Or do you go, fuck this? Like that really, those emotions have chemical responses that take over your body for a certain amount of time. Like, but you can adjust your meter to the other side where you were like almost everything you look at with humor and joy.
Yeah,
Like, why wouldn't you want to live that way?
yeah. It's true, man. Again, you're hitting something. You're hitting something on the nail of the head for me, because I'm terrible for that, mate. I've got a right temper sometimes. Like if I'm having a bad day, and I like, it can be anything. It can be anything. I'm like, fucking hell, like that. But obviously, but most of the time, I'm kind of placid. I hope. I don't know. Maybe my fiance might say different. But yeah, no, it is, and it's like, so okay. So what I'm getting from you is that it's a lifestyle, and you're choosing to live this way, and the more that you choose to live this way, which is sort of easygoing and letting things go, and not holding on to anger, and like you say, being the life and soul of the party, which sort of naturally comes from leaving some of that negativity behind. So it's something you embody, and that's what you sort of try and get across to your clients, is it? That's how you. That's your.
I mean, here's the crazy thing: when you try and let go of that and focus on something else, you literally free up so much of your mental state, which you only have so much mental real estate per your conscious hours of the day. I don't know about your dreams; those could be a different thing. That's something that's fascinating to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But that freedom allows you now. People always wonder, how am I so witty, clever, funny? Dude, I was so shy growing up. No, yeah, and also modest.
I'm only messing. Yeah, go over it.
No, that was super funny. That was a good job. If I was witty, I would have had a better comeback. Now, it's because I'm not worried about what people are thinking about me nearly as much. So I have all this openness for observation, that I can see something happen, or I can connect things way faster, because I'm not dealing with my anxieties of how am I going to be accepted to this group? Will this person like me? I'm not an attractive person if I can't get this girl to like me, so far as in the dating realm, but even like meeting parents of girls of dating, anything. The situation is when you have that openness of brain power, things are allowed to come to you a lot easier because you're not using up all your bandwidth, pretty much.
Yeah, you get out of your own way.
The thing that most people don't talk about. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's sort of the crux of this conversation, isn't it? It's just like that's where fun comes from. You get out of your own way, and I think where that sort of mainstream advice of like before you meet the special someone, you need to get right yourself. That's because oftentimes mainstream advice can just be hogwash. But I think that is kind of right, but they're just not telling you how to do it, how to get there, and how you get there.
Here's how we start. And there's a thing that I teach. It's called treasure hunting. Find out 3 things about this person that they value about themselves. That gets you out of your own head. That opens you up, and it allows a lot of surprises to come into your conversations. Because you can't literally be thinking about yourself when your objective is to find out 3 things that they like have accomplished or value about themselves.
Okay, so cool. Yeah, I do something similar with like, so just taking the focus, say if you're going and approaching a girl, taking the focus of yourself, go and just find out something that's really 3 things that you say that are really valuable about her, to her. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, my 5 steps are, yeah, like look into what, and especially if you can find things that they value about themselves, and if you can find things they value about themselves that most people don't know, is even better. And then letting them know that that's awesome about them. And then also introducing them to other people. I can't tell you how great it is to go out and say, for example, I go on a date for a girl, obviously the first time, and I show up early. I'd be friends with the guy sitting next to me on a bar stool, the bartender, and whoever else there. And then she comes in, and I already introduced her with like, oh my God, but you got to meet like Al. He has done this, this, and this. And he's already feeling validated. And he's like, hey, what's up? And then she's like, how do you know everyone? And it just opens up the situation, because all I was doing is, who are these people around me? What is valuable? Because one of my favorite quotes is a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote of, everyone is my superior in some way, and that way I learn from him or her.
Nice.
Point being, everyone has something. I mean, literally the person next to me, even if it's a 5-year-old kid, has lived 5 years of life that I wasn't there for, and I have no idea what they're gone through, thought, or learned, or experienced, even if it's just telling me a story.
Yeah.
That's incredible, like, way of learning knowledge. So thus treasure hunting, everyone is a treasure chest. Just learn how to unlock it. Because why talk about yourself too much? You already know yourself.
That's so true. And it's like, yeah,
I'm
always trying to frame this the right way, because it's like, and it's because that will help you get laid. Doing what you're saying will help you get laid. But it's just nice, but it's nice to do. So it's win-win. It's not this manipulative, and then like we're throwing all this fun at her just so we can get our sex. It's like, no, it's effective at like meeting new people, but it's also just, it's nice. You'll feel better. Like you're saying that thing, I've done that a few times, that sort of, you introduce yourself almost to like the people around you in the environment. And like you do that enough, and you're with this girl, and she's just like, Jesus, everywhere we go, he's just, and especially if you do it well, obviously you can be annoying, but if you, let's assuming you're doing it well, then she's just like, wow, he's just like this air of positivity, like lighting people's lives up. And it's just, who wouldn't want to be around that? Like you say, who's not going to ring up race and say, and say,
I get that there's that it involves, you know, all the different types of values, social value, or you can have money or whatever it is, as a strategy. Trust me, I've been around long enough to hear everything under the sun about it. But this is literally, you just have a better life, and you have no, like, yeah, of course you want to get laid. That's great. Who doesn't? Or you don't need to like put that on you that's a bad thing.
No,
like
it's not.
The trick. No, of course it's not. It's guys and girls. I've always wanted to get laid since humanity started. Every other animal wants to get laid. Of course you do. It's just now you can be the kind of person that she feels comfortable with. She shared some things that she really likes about herself and can connect with you. Like, that's, of course, now that's who she would want to sleep with. Someone she feels super comfortable with, that actually took the time to fucking listen and have a good time and have fun. And she saw that everyone else had fun. Like, fine, tap into the social value. That's great. But it's not out of any kind of strategy. It's out of, I just like having fun and uplifting the people around me.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I think there's been like a thread that goes through, like we were saying before, that these, like, just getting out of your own way will, and when we say that, it's just like, there's neuroses in your head probably. And if you can work out what they are and make the unconscious conscious, and then start dealing with that, and then start, well, okay, actually, do I need to be worried about that? Once you just work through enough of that, you can get to a place that Race is saying, and then just things come easy because of, and because you're now very fun and quite an attractive person, you're going to be much less needy. So it's like an upward spiral. It's all just getting better and better.
All the stuff that there's so many strategies that are based on things that can be solved just by doing this instead.
Yeah.
And those get erased instead of having to go like, well, you're exactly right. I don't have to be needy. I have to, you know, do this or that, and then this, and that's going to make me an attractive male. But really underneath that, before you solve for this issue, is you're still trying to prove to yourself that you're worthwhile and you're an attractive person by being able to do these techniques or manipulations.
Yeah. It's not like your core. It's like me plus techniques makes me attractive. This is something just as personally, like this is what I'm not struggling, but this is what I'm working out my brand, because I am quite technical minded and I like that sort of like do this and this and this and this and this. But you're right. It's just much more, there's much more efficacy in just sorting out the issue. And then naturally it's going to sort of solve itself rather than putting this technique band-aid over it. But listen, man, I've got to, I've got to call it there, but thank you so much for your time. I mean, it's clear what you bring to the table. I think that's going to come across in this video. So thank you very much.
I'm happy to be here. This has actually turned out to be a very delightful conversation. I'm thankful for it.
Thank you. And what, so obviously, again, where can people reach you?
Probably my most popular product is on texting, textthatgirl.com.
Textthatgirl.com.
Yeah. Cool. And it's because people want to be clever over text.
It's definitely, it's a skill set. And it's like, yeah, there's a little dance to it. Once you've got that, things go a lot smoother. All right, man. Well, listen, I really hope we can do this again. And, and thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Nice one.